A Study in Modern Isolation, an analysis of You Are Not Alone. The feeling of being truly seen is often considered the ultimate antidote to the modern epidemic of loneliness. In a world where digital connections frequently replace physical ones, the desire to belong to a community that understands and supports us is a powerful motivator. However, in their 2020 psychological thriller, You Are Not Alone, the best-selling writing duo Greer, Hendricks and Pekkanen explore the terrifying reality of what happens when that desire for connection is weaponized. The novel is not merely a suspenseful whodunit, but a chilling examination of social vulnerability, the dark undercurrents of female friendship, and the invasive nature of surveillance in the 21st century. At the heart of the narrative is Shay Miller, a protagonist who embodies the quiet desperation of urban isolation. Shay is a 30-something data analyst living in New York City, a woman whose life is defined more by the statistics she tracks than the experiences she lives. She is a plain Jane in a city of millions, someone who observes the world from the sidelines. Her social awkwardness and lack of a support system make her the perfect target for the Moore sisters, Cassandra and Jane, who represent everything Shay is not: glamorous, confident, and surrounded by a loyal circle of friends. The title of the book, You Are Not Alone, serves as a haunting refrain throughout the story, shifting from a comforting promise of companionship to a sinister threat of inescapable oversight. The story's inciting incident is as visceral as it is tragic, serving as a masterclass in establishing atmosphere and character motivation. While waiting for a subway at the 14th Street Union Square station, Shay witnesses a young woman named Amanda jump in front of an oncoming train. This moment of shared trauma, or rather Shay's witnessing of it, becomes the catalyst for her entry into a world she never knew existed. The authors describe the scene with clinical precision, mirroring Shay's own data-driven mind. She notices the color of Amanda's coat, the way the crowd reacts, and the lingering presence of a necklace left behind on the platform. Haunted by the look in Amanda's eyes before she jumped, Shay begins to investigate the dead woman's life, a decision born out of a mix of genuine empathy and a subconscious need for connection. She attends Amanda's memorial service, not as a friend, but as a silent witness seeking to understand a tragedy she can't forget. It is here that she is discovered by the Moore sisters. What begins as a quest for closure for a stranger's death quickly evolves into a desperate attempt to secure a place within a group that seems to offer the family she never had. The pacing of this introduction is deliberate, drawing the reader into Shay's growing obsession and making her eventual entrapment feel almost inevitable. The subway station itself becomes a recurring symbol of transition and danger, a liminal space where lives are irrevocably changed. The authors masterfully use Shay's background in data and numbers to highlight her psychological state. For Shay, numbers provide a sense of order in a chaotic world. She knows the probability of a subway accident, the percentage of people who feel lonely in large cities, and the statistical likelihood of finding true love. This reliance on data is a defense mechanism, a way to quantify a life that feels increasingly empty. When she meets Cassandra and Jane, they offer her something that data cannot: a sense of belonging. They seem to anticipate her needs, provide her with a makeover, and introduce her to a lifestyle of high-end parties and unwavering loyalty. To Shay, this isn't just a friendship, it's a lifeline. However, the support offered by the Moore sisters comes with a heavy price, one that Shay is initially too blinded by gratitude to recognize. As the narrative progresses, the reader begins to see the cracks in the sisters' perfect facade. They are not just a group of friends. They are a calculated collective with a specific and often violent agenda. The novel delves deep into the complexities of female dynamics, subverting the trope of the supportive sisterhood by showing how easily it can morph into a cult-like entity. Cassandra and Jane operate on a philosophy of radical justice, avenging women who have been wronged by men, be it abusive ex-partners, workplace harassers, or sexual predators. While their mission may seem noble on the surface, a form of feminist vigilantism that seeks to correct the failures of the legal system, Their methods are rooted in manipulation, coercion, and a total lack of transparency. The group operates on a strict hierarchy, with Cassandra and Jane at the apex, dictating the assignments and demanding absolute loyalty. The psychological pressure they exert on their members is subtle but pervasive, using the promise of safety and sisterhood to silence any dissent. The authors explore the moral ambiguity of this justice, forcing the reader to question whether the end justifies the means. Is a group that uses the same tactics as the predators it hunts truly any better? The tension between the desire for retribution and the necessity of due process is a central conflict that elevates the book beyond a simple thriller. The brilliance of You Are Not Alone lies in its exploration of surveillance. In the digital age, the idea that you are not alone is a literal truth. We are tracked by our phones, our credit card transactions, and our social media activity. Hendricks and Pekkanen take this reality to its extreme conclusion. The Moore sisters and their circle wear GPS tracking necklaces, ostensibly for their own safety. They share every detail of their lives, creating a transparency that is both intimate and suffocating. For Shay, who has spent her life being invisible, the idea of being tracked and monitored is initially intoxicating. It means someone cares where she is. It means she matters. But as she realizes the extent of the sisters' control, the tracking device becomes a digital shackle. The character of Valerie, the sisters' younger sibling, serves as the ultimate subversion of the group's ideals and the novel's most chilling antagonist. While Cassandra and Jane believe they are fighting for a higher cause, Valerie is the true puppet master, a pathological liar who manipulates the group's desire for vengeance to serve her own petty grievances and sociopathic whims. Valerie's backstory, involving a supposed assault by her stepbrother Trey, is the foundation upon which the entire group was built. Yet, as Shay begins to peel back the layers of Valerie's narrative, the truth becomes increasingly murky. This twist highlights a central theme of the book: the danger of blind loyalty and the ease with which a narrative can be hijacked. The women in the circle are so desperate for the security and purpose the group provides that they stop questioning the veracity of the claims they are avenging. They become tools for Valerie's malice, proving that even the most well-intentioned movements can be corrupted by a single toxic individual who understands how to exploit the vulnerabilities of others. Valerie's ability to mimic empathy and justice while harboring a cold, calculating nature makes her a formidable foe. She represents the dark side of the "you are not alone" promise, the idea that someone is always there, not to help, but to control. Her manipulation of Shay is particularly cruel, as she uses Shay's own desire for a sisterly bond to lead her into a trap that could cost her her life. As the plot tightens, Shay's transformation from a passive observer to an active participant is the emotional core of the novel. Her survival depends not on the sisters she so desperately wanted to impress, but on her own analytical mind. Her attention to detail, the very trait that made her a social outcast, becomes her greatest weapon. In the final confrontation, Shay must use the sisters' own tactics against them, proving that being alone might actually be safer than being part of a group that demands the surrender of one's identity. In conclusion, You Are Not Alone is a cautionary tale for the modern era. It reminds us that the search for community, while a fundamental human need, can lead us into dangerous territory if we are not careful about who we trust. Hendricks and Pekkanen have crafted a thriller that is as much a psychological study as it is a page-turner. They challenge us to look at our own lives and ask, in a world where we are never truly alone, who is really watching us, and what do they want? The novel leaves the reader with a lingering sense of unease, a reminder that the most dangerous predators are often the ones who offer us exactly what we think we need. Beyond its plot, the book serves as a cultural critique of the curated life. The Moore sisters represent the polished, unattainable perfection often seen on social media, while Shay represents the millions who feel inadequate in comparison. By tearing down the sisters' facade, Hendricks and Pekkanen suggest that the pursuit of such perfection is not only futile, but inherently destructive. The true strength, the novel argues, lies in the messy, imperfect, but authentic reality of being oneself, even if that means being alone. Ultimately, You Are Not Alone is a gripping, thought-provoking journey that forces us to reconsider the boundaries of our own privacy and the true cost of our social connections. It is a must-read for anyone who has ever felt like an outsider looking in, offering both a thrilling escape and a sobering reflection on the world we live in today.